I'm going to list you a bunch of NBA trades, and you guys let me know if they've aged well or if they were a mistake in hindsight. First trade, Rudy Gobert to the Timberwolves.
Whew. I mean, it's aged well, partly, and I guess big part, because Anthony Edwards is just taking the leap into superstardom, and so it makes everything else look good. But coming into the season, we thought that this team was going to get blown up after a year and a half. So shout out
what
to
did they prove us wrong? Exactly. This aged like fine wine. The bet they made was that Cat could play the 4 and Anthony Edwards can be a top 10 player. Last year, neither of which were the case. Now, both are working perfectly, and this trade, the logic made perfect sense now.
Tim Conley is a mastermind, bro. What can we say? Now, giving up Malik Beasley, no one cares. Patrick Bev, no one cares. Walker Kessler, good player, still don't care. Vanderbilt, don't care. And the other dudes still do not care. The picks hurt a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot of picks.
But if they're able to reach a finals, which is a real thing, this trade is aging like wine.
100%. It needed more time for it to make sense and for the vision to become clear, but now it's as clear as ever.
Yeah, I agree. Leonardo, I'm sorry, man.
Leonardo?
I'm pretty sure it's Leonardo Balmero. I think that's his name. If it's not, that's so bad.
I don't know who that is.
It's a
Next up.
trade.
Is it Leandro?
Or Leandro. Maybe it's Leandro, actually.
Either one of them.
Mm-hmm. Donovan Mitchell to the Cavs.
Listen, for the Jazz, it's aged perfectly. For the Cavs, you probably hold on to your assets. 5 first-round picks. Yeah, I think it's a mistake. Ooh. Five draft picks and Larry Markkinen, who turned into an all-star. Like, yeah. You probably want to do that again.
Using hindsight, of course, it looks bad, but even at the time, I'm still doing this trade because Donovan Mitchell's like he could be a top 10, top 15 player at his peak, and Larry Markkinen just wasn't looking like that at all back when he was in Cleveland.
Yeah, I think this is aged perfectly fine. I would still do this. This team isn't working not because D. Mitch. This team isn't working because Darius Garland and Evan Mobley haven't developed like they hoped. D. Mitch has given them everything they expected to get from him. I would still do this.
Listen, the boys are about to get swept, so.
And listen, and they're finna ship somebody out of town. It won't be D. Mitch unless he has to be. He's not the problem.
Yeah, sadly, Derek Favors is in Evan Mobley's shadows right now.
No, Darius Garland, get ready to speak Louisiana. That's the problem. Get ready to speak Beignet. You and Zion are going crazy next year. Paul George to the Clippers.
Woo, this is aged so poorly. It's so bad.
They traded Shea.
Now.
And the pick that was J-Dub.
Now, you would do it again, right? You would probably run this back if you could get 2 elite wings. However, it's aged poorly. There's a MVP finalist on the other side, and J-Dub. Like, come on, they're the 1 seed now, and you guys are fighting for your playoff lives every single year. Got bounced in the first round this year. It's tough. It's tough out there. And
I get that you had to do it to get Kawhi. Try harder to convince Kawhi that Shea's going to be him, because this is a lot to give up for Paul George, and I understand it in the moment. I didn't have a problem with it. Listen, Doc Rivers lied saying he was trying to convince Kawhi. He should have tried harder.
Yeah, this shit aged like milk, man. It's so tough to see. I understand it. You're the Clippers. You have to have some type of motion going on whenever you have the Lakers in the same arena. But that just makes my stomach hurt for all fans, bro. Damn.
Yeah.
This is seven picks.
And the point of this is hindsight. We know in the time it made sense. Now you gotta view it as a mistake. It hasn't worked. It is what it is.
My stomach hurts.
Next up, Damian Lillard to the Bucks.
Oh, this is a mistake.
I'm still doing this 10 times out of 10, bro. How?
It's a mistake.
What is making this a mistake?
You brought Damian Lillard in. The coach got fired halfway through. Your top two duos, right? Your top duo of Giannis and Dame don't work well together. Your defense, which was the basis of everything that you did over the last couple of years, is now fried. And you have an aging superstar who is hit or miss on a night-to-night basis, and Giannis, who low-key gets hurt a lot now. Yeah, Woo. I'm not doing this. And you gave up all your picks. You have no flexibility. Your team is old. And now you have Doc Rivers as your coach. It's a mistake.
And you let the Celtics get Drew Holiday and turn into a God squad. That's also part of it.
Facts.
The time was ticking on Drew Holiday. He's currently averaging 7 points and he's shooting below 40% from the field right now. All right. That's absolutely disgusting. All those picks and shit like that, they're going to hurt a little bit, but every single team has to make that move whenever you bring in someone who can perform like a top 15, 10 player at all times. He moves mountains. It hasn't worked out yet, but don't be so quick to say that this shit aged like milk.
I agree. I'm willing to give it another year. They weren't going anywhere with Jrue Holiday. They had to mix something up. I think it's still fine, but if they fail again, then it's going to get spooky.
Absolutely. They might. They just lost Thanasis Antetokounmpo, bro. He went out with an Achilles injury.
Death of a dynasty.
They're cooked now.
All right, next one. Dejounte Murray to the Hawks.
Hey, man. This is milk. This is age.
Do I even got to say it? Do I even got to say it?
This is turned so far past milk. It's cheese now. Okay, this is awful. This is such a bad trade.
Not gonna lie,
such a bad trade.
This trade right here, what the Lakers did with trading for Russell Westbrook, it feels like the exact same vibes with what Dejounte Murray becoming an Atlanta Hawk. Dejounte Murray's better, of course, but in terms of how much you risk for the future and how you destroyed everything, and you might cause Trae Young to leave too. It's ass.
This trade is mildew. This is disgusting. In the moment, I never liked it. Having a star guard and looking around the league and be like, how do I make this team better next to my guard? Get another point guard. Like, that was always so stupid. Terrible fit. The fact they thought they'd make him a shooting guard or Trae Young being good off ball, all this stuff never made sense, and it went exactly as poorly as you'd expect.
The logic wasn't terrible. Go to hell.
The logic was horseshit. We convinced ourselves the logic was decent, but the logic was awful. We were like, if you looked a certain way and you really imagine Trae Young being a completely different player and DeJounte being a completely different player, then maybe it could work.
Exactly. The only way this works is if Mo's controlling both of them on 2K.
Hey, and if I'm doing that, I'll get you right in
I know,
one
listen,
off
you won
season.
a championship. You won a championship yesterday. I saw it.
I might have been up until 4 a.m. going through like 5 seasons of 2K, but I got the job done.
Terrible that trade. I hate this trade so much. All right, next one. Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks.
This is a great trade. They got him on a discount because of all of the extracurricular off-court stuff. But Kyrie has played some of the best basketball we've ever seen him play. And now Luka has a legitimate running mate. I'm doing this every time.
I agree.
Dude, I cannot express how lucky the Dallas Mavericks are that Kyrie Irving crashed out as hard as he could in Brooklyn. If they weren't able to get this star for cheap, I don't know how they would have kept Luka happy. They are blessed that he ruined the Brooklyn Nets because this is the perfect trade for them now.
Yeah, absolutely. Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith were getting you absolutely nowhere. That 2029 pick, who gives a damn? Because if you were on the same trajectory, Luka wouldn't even be there. No one cares. Kyrie is a godsend for sure.
I cannot express. This trade saved Luka Doncic's prime in Dallas. No exaggeration.
For one first-round pick.
And it doesn't even matter if they don't end up winning much at all, because now this alleviates all the headaches. Instead of watching guys like Tim Hardaway Jr. ISO and choke at the most random threes, you get to watch Kyrie Irving put up the most beautiful basketball mixtapes every other night.
Nice. All right, last one. Domantas Sabonis to the Kings.
It's a win. It's a win, right? Like this is one of those trades where it worked out for everybody. So I think it aged well. The Kings, as relevant as they've been in the last 20 years, shout out to them. And when you are Sacramento, that's all you are playing for at this moment right now.
It's a win-win on both sides. I absolutely agree.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think the Sacramento team doesn't have any type of like ceiling of ever being a championship contender. But, Kings tax, they were never going to be that. So being just good enough to be in the playoffs every year is a win for them, even if we look back and be like, oh, Tyrese is probably the better player. There was no path either way, so this is the best they could do.
Yeah, and for Indiana, you are going absolutely nowhere with a Miles Turner and Domantas Sabonis-led team. Tyrese Halliburton is the face of your shit, which is what you need.
I forget Domantas Sabonis was a power forward. Thank God they did this. Tyrese is so much better there.
I know. Most even trade in recent history.